Yeah, good Tuesday morning, everybody. If you do hear anything in the background, like loud noise or something like that, it's because right now I am currently recording The Avengers. That's right, I'm actually recording it on the day that it's officially released on demand and on DVD and Blu-ray and digital. Anyway, if you hear anything, I apologize. But as you can see here, I'm here to talk about Monday Night Raw last night. And I have to say, I know some people like the Off the Rope show have a mixed reaction to it. Brad Rolls actually, enjoyed it. People have a mixed reaction. I thought overall it was a solid show. I mean, you can't ask for perfection, if you will, all the time. But I thought it was a solid show. And it gave you some stuff to really be interested in and kind of consider and think, and kind of hope that they follow up on it in some ways. And basically, we kickstart the the show with Punk and Heyman in the ring, basically saying the show's not going to continue until the referee of the main event the week before comes out, apologizes for what he did, for his mistake, and probably basically resigns from his position. And then, of course, this promo leads into AJ coming in because they're insulting AJ, basically saying she's this, she's that. She comes out, and basically they're hoping she'll reverse the decision. She will not. And basically she tells Heyman, hey, you assuming things basically makes an ass out of both me and you, but more of you. And then, of course, CM Punk has to come into the picture and basically go back to that card that's been played on an occasional basis now, but it's still a constant card. And that is, he still thinks that AJ is out to get him because he didn't say yes to her proposal. Now, if this does play any significant role in the future with CM Punk, storyline-wise, I would not be totally surprised about it. Whatsoever, I would not be totally surprised by it because I think, honestly, it might be interesting because think about this. Rumor is going around that AJ and Booker, possibly by Survivor Series, may be removed as the general managers of both Raw and SmackDown. So what better way for AJ to probably lose something but to win in the end? In other words, what I'm saying is like, okay, if she has to lose her job as general manager, what better way for her to sort of have a, bittersweet victory than to have CM Punk probably lose a match where the stipulation is that if he loses, he has to marry AJ. Makes sense, right? Makes sense, right? So I like that. And I like how Paul Heyman kind of plays off on that. Because to me, it was like he was mockingly proposing to AJ because of what she did to CM Punk. And basically, AJ's response is slapping him right in the face. And then we get a little bit of a backstage segment with the referees and AJ. And AJ, you got the referee, his name's Maddox, he's apologizing for what happened, his mistake. And AJ's saying, it's okay, but however, and then AJ goes sort of into that psychotic trance, if you do this again, And this is what a lot of people, storyline-wise, are saying is going to lead to her, again, storyline-wise, being removed as the general manager because mentally she's unstable. It's like, okay, storyline-wise, I can see maybe the board of directors saying, yeah, she is a good choice. She can last long as the GM, but her mentality's not there. It's not all there. What do we do? And again, that goes back to what I was talking about the fact that there could be a match stipulation maybe set up by the board of directors that says, okay, CM Punk, we're sick of your attitude. We're sick of this. You want your title. Let's say if he loses the title. Let's say, okay, you want your title back, fine. But if you lose, you don't get another rematch, and you have to marry AJ whether you like to or not, because if you don't, you'll be in violation of contract. Or whatever. I mean, again, it's just some kind of scenario there. So, oops, battery just died. Oh, that's lovely. It dies. So, anyway, we had a few segments with Mick Foley. We had several segments like I said, we had some segments with Mick. Hold on for a second. Alright, sorry about that, folks. And again, if you hear anything in the background, it's because I'm recording the Avengers. Trying to, let me plug this for a second. Plug that in. Well, I guess, whatever. But anyway, like I was trying to say, if anybody wonders, I'm a shooter. I let things go the way they are, so deal with it. Anyway, we had that segment, and we had several matches. Mainly, this was almost like a, like I said, it was a solid Raw because you had basically about 3 segments with tag teams involvement. You know. Again, the first match. Oh, there we go. That's the noise I'm looking for because I got to pull up the thing so I can get things right and I'll mess up. But anyway, one of the matches we had, I will say this. I'm going to try to go as best as I can, try to remember what I can. One of the matches was actually a Divas match because that was the one thing about tonight. I will say this: they actually started developing storylines. Continuing the development of storylines, and that's the one thing I like about what's going on. And it obviously shows you that Triple H is getting more involved. Okay, hold on for a second. This thing will let me. Don't you just hate that when the iPod or the iPhone messes up on you? Well, it kind of falls behind. It's like, oh, wait, let me catch up kind of deal. Don't you just hate that? Alright, well the first match of the night was a good match, a really good way to kick off Raw. And I know some people will say, oh, well, we've seen this match a zillion times. Yeah, well, the thing is, yeah, you've seen it a zillion times, but the thing is, have you seen it recently? You may have seen it a lot 2 years ago or a year ago, but have you seen it recently? And the answer is no. So I thought this was pretty good. And it was great. They just let Kofi and Ziggler go all out. They just went back and forth. JR, who everybody looks at as the real voice of WWE and Raw, basically said it himself that this match, this opener, had become a main event caliber match because of the way both men were working. And it was great. It was tremendous. It was a tremendous match, I will say that. Ziggler does go over in this one, which is the right decision because as many people have complained, if you're going to have Dolph Ziggler be a Money in the Bank winner, don't make him job out all the time and then have him cash in like you've had a previous winner by the name of The Miz. No, you have him win some significant matches to show he is capable of being your world champion. I like the beginning, though, with the whole interaction with Vicky, Little Jimmy, and R-Truth, and how they got ejected, and that was a good start, too. And of course, throughout the night, they showed a lot of the continuing anger management things with Daniel Bryan and Kane. Basically, they did a role-playing situation at a restaurant down there in Albany. You had the Dr. Shelby and Daniel Bryan kind of at a table, and here you have Kane coming up and going like, "Can I take your order?" And it's all basically role-playing, and then he mentions, yeah, the other cook, I basically beat him up, did this, tore his in, whatever. Basically took his beer and ripped it apart and used it as my secret ingredient. It was funny. It was funny. And I like how they have him role play, and his name is Gerald, not Glenn. Gerald, but Glenn, I guess in a way, is almost similar to. But I like that. It was pretty cool. I like the interactions throughout the night. I like one of the final. I like how they had to taste each other's food, and Daniel was like, "Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, that's not too bad. You know, he likes the meatballs, not too bad." And then he ends up regurgitating onto Shelby's lap. And then after Kane eats the piece of salad, Shelby's asking him how it tastes, and he's like, "Brrr." And you know that was Kane's real perfect. Oh, it was funny. I can't stop laughing. I mean, WWE is obviously doing something good with this team, and I like it. I just hope, and I pray, I just hope they don't mess this up. I just hope they're not leading, like I mentioned before, to a similar situation that happened 14 years ago. You remember 14 years ago, they had a situation with Sting and Big Show when Big Show was the Giant in WCW. You had Sting on the Wolfpack side, you had Giant on the Hollywood side, and both men fought in the main event in the last match of the Great American Bash to see who would win both tag team titles and decide who the partner would be. So I'm hoping they don't go in that direction with this. The following match we had was a tag team match. Like I said, this was like a tag team version for a night of tag teams for Raw, a Monday Night Raw for tag teams. And basically we had the primetime players, O'Neal and Young, defeat Santino and Zack Ryder. Now, we've seen Santino and Zack team up on occasion, so they're kind of an occasional tag team. I don't know if they're going to be more of a jobber tag team, or sometimes they're going to take them seriously, but I thought that was pretty cool. And it's a good way to help push the primetime players into the spotlight of the tag team division. And then we had, of course, a promo, an in-ring segment promo with Mick Foley and CM Punk. And basically Mick Foley saying, "Look, Punk, you promised this and that, and yet you have not really achieved it. You have not really gone and accomplished that goal. And that basically you're letting Paul Heyman lead you. You're letting Paul Heyman lie to you. He's basically telling them, you know, that, look, you got to make your own decisions. Don't let Paul Heyman always be in your ear. Don't be a Kool-Aid drinker. Be your own man." So, it was a great exchange with this promo. There's no doubt about it. Great exchange. And basically, I think, in a way, it kind of plants the seeds of doubt within Punk. I mean, yeah, Punk's a Paul Heyman guy. There's no doubt about it. And you know, this whole situation with Punk and Paul Heyman, you know, I want to get to that because basically at the end of the night, you're kind of getting an idea that it's not just Cena that's against him, but it seems that almost several members of the WWE roster are going against Punk. And it's not because he's the champion, but it's more so because of certain situations, or because of association with somebody that's looked at as an outsider to the company. But, okay, anyway. Here's the situation. Okay, but anyway, here's the deal. Here's what I'm trying to explain. I think, you know, in my honest opinion, there's been rumors going around that they want to form a new stable with Punk and Heyman and some other stars. My question is, are they wanting to form a new stable, or is there something more? Because you got to think about it this way. You know, it's kind of ironic that earlier this year, a few months ago, they released ECW, you know, unreleased. Or Unleashed. ECW Unleashed. And then that next month, they got Best in the World with Paul Heyman and Punk and doing some commentary for matches and inside stuff and all that. So it makes you think, folks, it makes you think for a second that maybe there's something more than just forming a new stable or association. I mean, does it have to deal with something maybe like legitimacy, which I seriously don't know if it does or not? Or is it maybe to possibly plant the seeds for a certain promotion, storyline-wise, to try to be rebuilt with CM Punk as its focal point? I'm just saying, it's my honest opinion. Just saying. great exchange between both Foley and Punk. Great promo exchange there. And then we had The Miz versus Ryback. And this apparently is the biggest match Ryback's had because it's against a champion, non-title. And basically he ends up beating The Miz almost with ease. I mean, yeah, Miz got some offense in there. There's no doubt about it. But for him, for WWE to allow Ryback to go over someone like The Miz, who's a former champion, who is, no matter whether they mention it because of storyline or not, it is fact. Former tag champion, United States champion, Money in the Bank winner, WWE champion, won at the main event of a WrestleMania over the face of the company, John Cena, and now is the current Intercontinental champion. I mean, how bigger can you get than that? How much more of a resume do you need than that? And to have someone like Ryback go over you with ease, basically beat you with ease almost. It's almost basically saying that Ryback is ready. But is he? We'll get into that in a little bit. But, I thought it was a good decision to do this because you got to move Ryback up the food chain, if you will, as they keep mentioning. You got to move him up. But was it the right decision? Apparently, right now, it seems to be. We didn't find out that AJ set up a six-man. She basically seems AJ's got this. One thing about AJ I like about her character, whether people agree with it or not, she's got this Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of thing, or Dr. Jekyll, Mrs. Hyde, or Dr. Jekyll, Miss Hyde kind of thing. And she's talking to the ref, saying, "Hey, we all make mistakes. But I make mistakes. So listen, big ions to do what you got to do." And then we had her set up a match because Del Rio, Otunga, and Ricardo come in. She sets up a six-man match. Basically, first of all, she tells Del Rio, "You know what? I do agree that what Booker did to you was not the right thing. By instating the bro kick before your match. But instead of giving him a rematch, though, she said, no, I'm not going to give you a rematch, however, but I am going to put you in a six-man tag. It'll be you three, Ricardo included, against Sheamus, Sin Cara, and Mysterio." So, yeah, she set that match up. Then we had Wade Barrett take on Tyson Kidd. Wade Barrett again squashes someone smaller than him, but it's pretty good. It's got that old school mentality. I think what they're doing with Wade is they want to show he's tough, so that when they finally up him to someone probably his size or bigger, it'll be like, okay, Wade, here's your true test to prove that your barrage is back. And then we get the interview with Jerry the King Lawler, which I thought was a great interview. I thought Michael Cole did a great job professionally. They didn't screw with it. They didn't storyline it or anything. It was a legit thing. And basically King's saying, look, basically King's just giving us an update on what's going on. And basically saying, look, I'm going to leave it up to the doctors as to when I can get back there. And when they give me the clearance, he said basically when they give him the clearance, he'll be on the first smoking thing out to Raw. So basically he's saying he is going to be back. He just doesn't know the timetable right now. But he does look good after what has happened to him. And the one thing they did do that we hadn't seen before is they actually showed still pictures with the time and everything as to when, during that whole situation 2 weeks ago. Then we got the six-man tag, which I thought was okay. I mean, I did see most of it, but anyway, I thought it was an okay six-man tag. I like the fact that they allowed Sin Cara to go over in the match, get the pinfall. Everybody does note that during the match, Del Rio, and it's seen online, accidentally or intentionally, I don't know what it was, pulled up Sin Cara's mask, revealing his face underneath. So hopefully they might, I don't know, I think in the replays they're going to probably edit that out so you don't actually see what he looks like. Anyway, and apparently there's some real legit heat between the two. I don't know. But anyway, I thought it was a good match. Sin Cara gets the win. All three faces hit the finishers. Ray hits the 619. Sin Cara hits his swanton, and then at the end after the match, Sheamus hits his bro kick. So that was pretty cool. And then we get a Raw Active segment. Well, basically we find out that, basically we get a Raw Active segment where the fans get to choose the team name, the tag team name for Daniel Bryan and Kane. And they can either choose Team Teamwork, and they can easily choose the names of Teamwork, Hell No, or Friendship. Well, after Daniel Bryan and Kane came to the ring, it was revealed that the team name for them will be Team Hell No. And then, of course, and then after that, it's like, because you got to think, Hell for Kane, No for Daniel. And then after that, what happens is that, after that, the team name is made. After that, Damian and Cody come out of nowhere, come out of the crowd, attack them from behind, and then announce that they're, and then Cody basically, after they go up the ramp, after their attack, announces that there's a new team in town as well, with a real team name, the Rhodes Scholars. So apparently, because we had 3, I'm not lying about this, because apparently, well, I wasn't as focused on SmackDown, but apparently it is being evident that the tag team division is being rebuilt. It is being more focused on now. And it goes back to what people said about Triple H's report there, that Triple H wants to focus more on tag teams and not as much on the Divas division, but doesn't mean he's not taking his eye off the Divas division. And why do I say that? Because then we get a tag match between the Divas. It's Layla and Alicia versus Eve and Beth. Now, Eve and Beth do go over after Beth does most of the work. And then Caitlyn comes out and basically says she scored the security footage of who are from Night of Champions. And then all she knows is that she didn't see her attacker's face, but all she knows is her attacker was a blonde. And immediately, Eve ends up pointing the finger at Beth. So Beth says, no, I didn't do this, no, I didn't do this. And as soon as she turns around, Eve lays her out. So it kind of tells you that maybe it was Eve that did it, but she was wearing a blonde wig because she knows people would probably suspect her. I mean, if that is, unless they give us a twist, I don't know. Unless they give us a twist or something like that, it seems that Eve's the suspect. Unless it's Kelly Kelly. We haven't seen her in a while. Think about that. That would be huge. Then we get Brodus versus Tensai. It was for what it was until the interruption. It was sort of turning out to be an okay big man match. And then, speaking of big men, the Big Show returns, ends up knocking both men out. Tensai's climbing up on the trying to get himself back up, courtesy of the turnbuckle, and then he hits, and then next thing you know, he eats a right hand, knocks him out. Big Show comes in, Bros tries to charge him, and he eats a right hand, basically saying that, hey, I'm back, I'm dominant. Look what I did to 2 guys that combined are way more than me, with ease. So Big Show apparently is back and looks like he's going to be in the main event on SmackDown against Randy Orton this Friday, or tonight during the taping, whatever you want to call it. And then we get the final segment with John Cena. John Cena basically comes out and says, look, he thanks the fans for the support and everything, thanks them for supporting the breast cancer situation, and wearing the colors, and everything. And then he basically says he's guaranteeing that he's not going to Hell in a Cell to be a ring announcer. He's not guaranteeing he's going to be there as a ref or as a spectator or anything. He's going to be there to fight. So basically saying, despite what happened to me with my elbow, I'm going to be there to compete against CM Punk for the championship. Now CM Punk, of course, then comes out and says, look, I'm not going to fight you. And it's not because you're one, oh, I'm afraid of you and all that, blah, blah, blah. It's because it's because basically he's always getting, as he puts it, always getting a title shot. So, CM Punk basically and then CM Punk cockily tells him, hey, you've got till 5 to get out of this ring before I hurt you. And then as soon as he counts to 5, he turns around, he gets hit with a lead pipe, runs out of the ring, and John Cena says, hey, I will see you at Night of Champions no matter what. I mean, not at Hell in a Cell no matter what. I will face you. I will fight you. So after that, we see Cena kind of high-fiving the fans, giving one of the fans a pipe as a souvenir, giving one of the kids his pink hat, and then walking around just, high-fiving the fans. And then we see Punk backstage, going past Foley. Foley has, I guess, this disappointed look on his face, and then Punk goes back over to Foley, kicks him in the gut, and then as he's walking away again, then he hears, I guess, footsteps, and he's about to turn around and say, okay, Foley, and then next thing you know, as soon as Punk turns around, thinking it's Foley that's following him, he turns around and boom! It's not, and you see Punk get the scared look on his face, like, oh shit, I just stepped in it. Because now he realized, because as soon as he turned around, who did he see? But Ryback. And that's what we left on the cliffhanger. Now apparently, from what I read online, that segment with Ryback wasn't shown to the crowd. No, the screen was blacked out. They didn't know about that. So apparently, that was only for people watching on television, leaving us on a cliffhanger. A cliffhanger that's stating, could this be a future main event? Because think about it, right now Cena's hurt. Now Cena's trying to guarantee he will be ready for Hell in a Cell. But it looks like WWE is saying, okay, if we don't have Cena ready, here's the alternative, his name is Ryback. Now I wouldn't be surprised if next Monday on Raw, they kind of put CM Punk in a match with Ryback and have Ryback go over cleanly over Punk, and thus probably advance the storyline that maybe Punk isn't the best in the world like he says he is. But we'll find out. So we'll find out though. We'll see what happens if they follow up on that. I hope they do. And then we find out that, okay, now speaking of WWE, I mentioned Beth within a match earlier. Basically, Beth Phoenix has gone online and said that she is not leaving the company anytime soon. So she denies the rumors that she's not leaving the company anytime soon. Now, we don't know if this is a play on her part to try to throw fans off at the fact that she is leaving, or it's just some eager fans that are like thinking, oh, come on, Beth, you need to leave this company. Go to TNA, or go to Ring of Honor, or something like that. I mean, because it's ironic that on Facebook, one of the wrestling groups I'm a part of, one of them says, Glamazon to TNA.